So I'll very quickly read you the verses from 1 Corinthians 11. I hate to divert from this, but you brought it up, and I'd rather have people know this that don't know the purpose of
You
communion.
could have Sergio come up here and do it.
Yeah, he could give communion right now. Absolutely. It says here, now this is Paul citing Jesus, for I received from the Lord that which I also delivered to you, that the Lord Jesus on the same night in which he was betrayed took bread. And when he had given thanks, he broke it and said, take and eat. This is my body, which is broken for you. Do this in remembrance of me. In the same manner, he also took the cup after supper, saying, this cup is the new covenant in my blood. This do as often as you drink it in remembrance of me. And then he's going to explain a few things here. I'm going to read them, and I'll talk about that. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you proclaim the Lord's death till he comes. That's the purpose, is to proclaim the death of the Lord. Understanding he died for me, meaning I'm a sinner. Every time I take this, I'm acknowledging that because it hasn't gone away. I'm still a sinner. And then what does it say? Therefore, whoever eats this bread or drinks this cup of the Lord in an unworthy manner will be guilty of the body and the blood of the Lord. So they stop right there. And they say, if you take this in an unworthy manner, and you can't have any bad thoughts for 48 hours, as if God has got a watch out and he's looking, right? They skip the rest of what the purpose of this is. It says, but let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of the bread and drink of the cup. Okay? In other words, if you come up here in a haughty manner and say, I deserve this, you're ignoring the very premise of the Lord's Supper, that Christ died for my sins, meaning I'm a sinner and I still need to be cleansed. Okay? You're ignoring that. And therefore, you are unworthy because of that. But if you stop before you come up and you say, you know what? I have sinned. I just sinned during the sermon. I had a thought that I shouldn't have had. I am corrupt to my very being, and thank God that Jesus died for my sins. I want to acknowledge his death as the payment for that and come rushing up here and take your communion. That is the purpose. Not one person on this planet is worthy of taking the Lord's Supper. Not one. And we never will be. But by grace, we are saved, and by grace we take the Lord's Supper, acknowledging that we don't deserve what we are taking. That's the purpose of it, okay? People get it completely backwards because they've got all this religion stuffed into their head like that. And for he who eats and drinks in an unworthy manner eats and drinks judgment to himself, not discerning the Lord's body, okay?